All right, Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here joined with former WBC cruiserweight world champion Noel Mikaelian, who makes this rematch against Badou Jack December 13th at the Ace Mission Studios. First and foremost, how excited are you that you were able to get this rematch immediately?
Um, I'm very excited about it. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah,
You
it
know,
was
oh, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
it is the rightful thing to do by the sanctioning body.
That's what I was going to ask because I know, it's conflicting opinions. I just talked to Badu.
hmm
He felt that he won the fight, and most times when close fights happen on paper, they don't really get the rematch. So in this case, do you feel like there was an outcry, or what do you think the reason why this
The
rematch
reason
was ordered?
the reason why the rematch was ordered was the fight was analyzed. Many people, important people in boxing, expressed their opinion about the decision, and that's why we are getting the rematch. The fight, I just talked to another reporter, and they always say, in close fights, they always call it a close fight if the rightful winner doesn't get the decision. If the rightful winner gets the decision, it's not a close fight. There are rounds and points for a reason boxing, right? Because you have to, at the end, look at the scorecards round by round, who won each round, and the rounds are decided who lands more punches. In this case, I landed more punches and outworked him, and many people like Chavez Senior, the other sanctioning bodies, supervisors, and journalists, fans expressed that I won the fight, but not even that close. Many people had me 113, 115 under 13, like Chris Manning's the reporter, and a lot of boxing fans. And the biggest boxing app in Britain had me 117, 111. The BoxRec fans had me 116, 112. So obviously the other team is complaining about it because their plan didn't work out as they thought. They thought they just come and steal my opportunities, but it didn't work that well. I would just not let like lay around and just let them step over me and just like go like that. And in this case, the appeal was filed and it was successfully filed, and that's why we are getting the rematch because the fight was analyzed and everybody on the board decided, oh, this has to be redone.
In preparation to this fight, you were essentially a replacement. Didn't have a lot of time, to essentially get prepared. And I know it works both ways, but do you feel that because you have, I think I saw somewhere, that you will have a proper full camp to prepare for Badu? Do you think that you're going to have not just a similar result, but a better result in your eyes?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely, I was a replacement. I took the fight because I had to take the risk. Because if I wouldn't take that, they would just move on, probably with the unification or fight or something, and just kind of like take my opportunities. Although I was the champion, and yeah, sometimes in life it is like that. You have to take the risk. I took the risk. I actually won the fight, but whatever it is,
Hmm.
whatever they call, we have the rematch, and we will serve uh, justice this time, and it will be a convincing, dominating show.
To get an official win on paper against Badou Jack opens up a lot of big doors. I know throughout, the Makabu fight that you had and the Ryan Rositzky and then all this politics and all this switch around is kind of, I guess, delayed and postponed kind of that next level in your career. So with a win
Absolutely.
over when a win over Badou, is it unification time? Is that what you're truly eyeing against like a Zerto Ramirez or Jai Apataya?
Absolutely. I was asking for the unification fights right after the title win. Unfortunately, I was declined that offer because I wanted to move forward and get the other belts and unify the division. And also, it's obviously at a financially standpoint, more lucrative fights. And I'm looking forward to these unification fights. That's why we filed an appeal, and that's why we're getting the rematch because I need that title back because that title has to be in the mix for
Hmm.
the unification fights. And I'm looking forward after this fight to unify the division against Zurdo or Pataya, whoever holds the other titles at that time.
You know, um, Badou is a veteran, crafty fighter. Do you expect him to be presenting, I guess, a better or tougher fight than the first fight in your eyes?
Probably. I mean, he will be giving his best too,
Hmm.
and having a full good training camp. I don't know. I don't focus too much on him. The first fight, I just remember him like clinching a lot and low blowing and do like dirty things. And a lot of people approached me about that. It's like, what was he doing? He was like clinching the entire time and low blowing, didn't get no warning. Referee was kind of on the side. And yet he goes out and talks about politics and this and that. Like, bro, make it make sense.
Hmm.
But yeah, I expect him to bring his best, but I will bring my best too this time and I will dominate.
Not to take you away from actual boxing, because this is a huge fight, and I know you're focused on unification, things like that, but there's a big name out there. I know he's gonna go to heavyweight and fight Anthony Joshua, but I mean, would a win over Badou, because they were talking that Badou could been a potential opponent at some point. I mean, would you essentially take that place? Would you entertain like a Jake Paul money?
Oh, Jake Paul?
I'm sure you've heard it,
My pleasure. My pleasure. I would love to do that fight. I was discussing it actually with his former coach a couple of months ago. If we could make that happen. He's like, maybe in 5 years or something.
Are, are you somewhat shocked that he decided to, I guess, go fight Anthony Joshua? I know it's very lucrative. He said he's making 200 plus million, but I mean, is that essentially what it is for? Just the money? Or
Probably, but I don't think he will ever be involved in a real fight with AJ. I mean, AJ will just wipe the floor with him. You know that. I know that. He's just a big human being. He's
yeah.
Jake Paul. He's a cool guy and everything. Whatever he does there with his misfits fights, he should carry on with that. But he just pulled out like they made a whole show with that Gervonta Davis fight, and now it's like canceled because of
Hmm.
whatever reasons. But he just gets like all these how you say things around there to get people's attention for controversial stuff, but he never then really delivers, kind of, right? He's like fighting this guy, fighting this champion. I will fight that champion, but then at the end he fights some whatever. So chances against Anthony Joshua are pretty low.
Do you think it's going to be kind of like a scripted exhibition, or do you feel like it won't actually go through something similar and
It has to be a scripted thing. It can't be other than that. But he claims that it will be a real fight. So in that matter, it sounds like a scam then, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out. I mean, if he goes the distance, is that still then a lucrative opportunity? Then, like, does it keep his name intact? Like credit, right? Like he went 8.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Wow. He went with AJ into the ring, and AJ let him run around for what, 5 rounds and what, 1 million.
Well,
Impressive.
well, getting back to you, because there's other opportunities outside of the unification. There's a talented fighter, David Benavidez, who's been eyeing also cruiserweight. I know that that would be a huge name, a huge fight, and if would have went over Badou, you guys would be synonymous with the WBC. So would you welcome that fight? If you
Yeah,
if you got
sure. Benavidez has been a huge name in boxing for the last couple of years. He is a very strong fighter. Mexican. He brings a lot of Mexican fans, I think. Yeah, why
Mhm.
not? He's a very good fighter.
I know he has a fight with Yard coming up. Do you see him kind of
Ouch.
getting past him comfortably, or is that a competitive fight?
I don't know. I didn't follow up on his career lately, and also not on
Hmm.
Yarde's career. But I think Yarde was also a very tough, strong
Hmm.
competitor in the division, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't follow up on those careers, but he's challenging for the world title, so he's probably bringing his best. And I don't know who I would pick in that fight because, as I said, I don't know what status they are right now.
Hmm. Respect. My last question is just kind of more of like your history, right? I believe, was it your father that was a boxer? Or
Well, the European champion and the world title contender back in the day.
is that kind of what was the bridge that made you want to be a fighter? Because he had his European title success, or what was I guess I want to learn the father-son dynamics of like how you both became boxers.
Well, yeah, when I was a teenager, I basically grew up in a professional boxing gym. Back in the day in Hamburg, Germany, that was like the capital of professional boxing in Europe. A lot of world champions, maybe 20 plus world champions. The Klitschko's came from there. Mikhailshevsky came from there. Um, there's so many like world champions who came from there, and we as kids were always watching my stepfather train there, training by ourselves, and then later I was training in Amsterdam with the kickboxers, Hall of Fame kickboxers, and always being around these elite fighters made me then kind of motivated me in my early 20s to aspire a professional boxing career myself, and that was kind of like the trigger.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You mentioned Klitschko's. Did you get to see him as a kid? Did you talk to him?
Yeah,
Is there
a couple
no?
of times I saw them in the gym running in Hamburg, once because the area, which is it's called, and they were just like this huge, gigantic people. I was like 12, 13, 14, like some small kid, and I always looked at these guys like, holy shit, how big are these guys?
Hmm. Is it insane that at one point you were talking to the Klitschko's as a kid and then you had your own belt and your own career going on right now? Just looking at how you were able to manifest that, it's just that kind of insane in general.
If you look back at it and like focus on it, it is kind of an interesting story. But I remember the only time when I talked with the Klitschko's was after his Lennox Lewis fight. I remember he had like these scars, and we were going to the gym, and they were with their car in front of the gym, and he had like the scars covered with the makeup, but he was just like such a big guy. I was talking to my stepfather, and then my stepfather went to the gym, and at that time I never thought, oh, I'll be a professional fighter or a world champion. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
Seeing
now
him,
looking back at it, it is interesting to myself too.
yeah, I guess seeing him never discouraged you. Seeing his face busted up, you never thought, I ain't never gonna do that. You know? Aw-
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's interesting. Well, I had a lot of respect for all these fighters that I was watching and training there. What kind of discipline and like work ethic they were bringing into the gym daily, and back in the day it was a little bit different. There were not these misfit fights and all these like fake hype shows were not so popular in Germany and Europe. It was pure, talent and who was like really more of a gentleman, more of like, the real deal
Hmm.
kind of thing. And then I remember walking into the gym, and then the promoter, Klaus Peter Kohl, who founded that Universal Box Promotion, had a big picture with him and Don King. And now I'm getting to work with Don King like so many years later. It's
Hmm.
like, it's a weird circle.
Absolutely. But look, Noah, before I let you go, I know the fight's going to be on pay-per-view December 13th. They're going to have, I think, $1 for each pay-per-view go to the champion mental health. And
That's awesome.
so, for this rematch, I know it's a big rematch for the WBC cruiserweight title. What do you want to tell the fight fans out there before I let you go?
The fight fans, yeah, watch me uh, do justice and prove who's the real world champion. I think the fans know. They judged the fight. uh, they judged it for real. So yeah, watch me, especially my Armenian fans. It's in Los Angeles, our second capital. Come support me. I will be very happy and very honored to be crowned as a two-time world champion in Los Angeles in front of a lot of Armenian people.